Hey, how's it going? Neo-serf here. Got a pretty sad story from Insomniac Games about why we see so many garbage frame rates in video games today. Apparently they did some kind of analysis, detailed here on their website, about how different factors affect sales of games. And according to this, and I'll just read out what they found here, the results perhaps confirmed what I'd known for a long time, but found it difficult to accept without evidence. They found that a higher frame rate does not significantly affect sales of a game. A higher frame rate does not significantly affect the reviews of a game. And in particular, they found that there was a clear correlation between graphics scores in reviews and the final scores. They found no such correlation between frame rate and the graphics scores, nor the final scores. As an interesting side note, although I think this is actually kind of key, our teams also found no direct correlation between gameplay scores and final scores. So, there it is, dudes. That kind of explains why video games today are on console are so questionable. It looks like a lot of developers are doing this kind of similar analysis of the market, and they just seeing that reviewers really only care about graphics, and they have no particular, they don't really give a particular shit about gameplay or higher frame rate, which essentially is factors that affect gameplay. It also explains why there's so many buggy and weird games out there, or games with questionable mechanics. It's because game reviewers don't value that at all. They value only graphics. I mean, if you've been following the state of game reviews in the industry, this shouldn't be a huge surprise. I think a lot of people who write this stuff aren't really gamers, so they don't really have any way to evaluate video games the same way that game players do. They really just look to see if it looks nice, to see if it has a high resolution. I guess that's the new thing. And they can't really tell, it doesn't really affect them if the game's sluggish or whatever, because they barely know how to play anyway. Yeah, it's sad, but there it is. I have to say, to Insomniac's credit, I think it does take a certain amount of balls to come out and basically say, hey, we just want the money. We could have some artistic, I don't know, integrity, I guess, and stick with our guns and work on gameplay and making the game fun. But it doesn't sell, and if we stop doing that and just focus it all on graphics, then we get more money. People buy more games and they get higher review scores, regardless of how well it plays. And they basically just said here that this article's from 2009, that they won't anymore make video games that are 60 FPS because they get more money by not doing it. Yeah, so on one hand, I respect the fact that they don't fob people off with bullshit and just basically say, hey, it's about the money. But on the other hand, as I said before, it is sad to see people compromising, the quality of their game just because that's what gets money. Because I guess it's just lack of respect of the medium and lack of respect of the audience. And yeah, probably attitudes like that explain why there's so many shitty games out there today. It's just not whether the game is fun or not is barely even a consideration. And I think this is the case for a lot of developers. I think this is why Destiny 2 is releasing with shitty frame rates on console. I think it's why it's definitely why Insomniac's new Spider-Man game will be releasing with shitty frame rates. It's just a problem that I don't know what to do about. I guess on the plus side, this does give us some indication as to what we can do to fix the question, to fix the problem. It just straight up says here that they do it because game reviewers give better scores to high graphics. That's just straight up what they said. So if you can find some way to start reviewing games based on whether they're fun to play, you know, the gameplay quality, and that includes the frame rate and things like engine stability, and just try and get reviewers to put that at the top of their review, rather than worrying about whether or not there's nice graphics or the thing has 4K support or anything, as if anybody gives a shit about 4K. Yeah, more on that in a different time. But yeah, if we can affect game reviewers, then we can directly affect video games and video game purchases. And I don't know, maybe elevate the quality of games that are coming out of certain studios nowadays. There it is. That's a rant all in one go. Pile of bullshit. Video games continue to disappoint. This is neo-serf signing out. Peace out.